Welcome. You have successfully checked into your abundance timeline.
Maybe you're in a season where money is at the end of each month. It still feels like there's never enough. The number in your account is bigger than it's ever been. And somehow the feeling is literally exactly the same when you had way less money. Never enough. Or maybe you're in a season where money is like literally genuinely tight, where every week feels like a scramble, a catch up, where you're working really, really hard and you can't figure out why, like, why is there never enough? Why is it not adding up? Either way, the feeling is the same. Why is there never enough money? So if that question lives in your mind, or if it's one that you've asked yourself multiple times, then you can count. Then guess what? This episode is for you. Is for you. The fact that you're even asking this question, I want you to hear this, that the fact that even you're asking this question does not mean that you're bad with money. It doesn't mean that you're careless or irresponsible or that you're not working hard enough. It means that you were never taught the real answer. Because what we think the real answer is it's not about, oh, I just need that one budgeting tip, or I just need to cut out my coffee order for the week, right? It's not really even about the numbers at all. At least not at first. The answer lives in, I would say, 3 places. Your identity, your nervous system, and your habits. And so today, I'm going to walk through all 3 of them with you. So, welcome to the Rich Girl Podcast. My name is Karyn Medeiros, in case you are new here. And I am an award-winning manifestation coach and a 2-time best-selling author. So, are you ready? Let's get into it. So, okay, the feeling of not enough, right? Of like, oh, why do I never have enough money? Is not a financial problem. I want you to understand that at the beginning of this episode. It is not a financial problem. It is an identity problem. And here's what I mean. So most of you, if you're feeling like this, right? When you feel like you never have enough money, you immediately look at the external, right? The external being the income, the expenses, the circumstances. And yes, those things matter, and we'll get to the practical side of this, but if you only fix the external without addressing the internal, then you will hit a new level income, right? A new income level. And it will literally, you will still bring the not enough feeling right along with you. I've seen this happen over and over again. A woman who doubles her income, right? So you double your income, you feel relief for, maybe a few months, and then the lifestyle expands, the expenses grow, and guess what? You're right back in that same feeling. Anxiety, scarcity, it's just a different number. Why? Why are you in that? Why are you back in there? Because the identity didn't change. So, you're still at your core, you still see yourself as someone who struggles with money. Someone who, you're like, wealth is just like, that kind of like wealth of abundance is just out of my reach. And you work so hard, but you can never quite get ahead. That identity is that deep subconscious self-concept. That's what runs the show. It determines what you spend, what you save, what you charge, what you tolerate, what you believe is possible. So until you change the identity, you're going to keep recreating the same feeling, regardless of the number that sits in your bank account. So, what do I actually believe about me and my money? So, not what you want to believe, not what you're working toward, but what do you actually believe? What do you believe in your body at your default? Like when nobody's watching, nobody's listening. Do you believe that money is hard to keep? Or do you believe that you're always someone who's in like catch up mode, right? I'm always 3 steps forward and then 2 steps back, right? And that, money, Money abundance, it comes easy for other people. People get lucky. People started different. People don't live my life. People who aren't you. So what I want you to do is I want you to write it all down. I want you to ask yourself that question. I want you to write it down. I want you to get honest, because that belief, whatever you believe that belief is, whatever it is the filter through which every financial decision you make is running. And you can't change what you can't see. Scarcity is a problem. Scarcity is a problem. Scarcity is also a program, and it was installed without your permission. Okay. So the scarcity mindset that you're carrying, you did not choose it. It was installed. From the time that you were a small child, you were probably receiving messages about money. So from your parents, your household, your culture, your community, your religion, your school, whatever. Most of those messages that you were receiving as a child were not conscious. Like nobody sat you down and said, "Oh, hey, Karyn, here's your money story. 7 years old, here's your money story." No, it came from the things that you overheard, the things that you saw, the stress that you witnessed, right? The beliefs that were modeled in front of you every single day. Why do you think I grew up with scarcity in my life? My mom and dad got divorced when I was young. We built this beautiful house, right? My mom and dad built this beautiful house. My parents got divorced, and my dad couldn't afford the house, and so the bank took it. And so so we had to move, and then we would move. So me and my sisters all went with my dad, and my dad always made sure that there was a roof over our heads. But we would move from house to house until we ended up moving out, like on our own. We would move from house to house. Now, back then, I didn't know why we were moving. Now, as an adult, I understood that he couldn't pay the rent, and so we would just move from house to house, right? But I took that, the bank that we lost, that my parents lost the house because they couldn't pay for it. That was built into my subconscious, and that wasn't even that wasn't even mine to bring with me. But because it's something that I witnessed, it was a stress that I witnessed, then that became my money story as I grew up. Right? Also, what we heard every day, not every day, and maybe not everybody, but money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. Money is the root of all evil. You have to work very hard for every single penny. And your young brain, which was wide open, absorbing everything, building a model of how the world really works, took all of that in and then turned it into a program. And then it is a program that has been running in the background ever since, which is your scarcity program. So when you feel like there's never enough, right? Or you self-sabotage a launch if you have a business, or you spend money the second it arrives, or if you own a business or you're selling something, you undercharge for your work. You feel guilty every time you buy something nice for yourself. And then you just think, well, I don't know, I guess that's maybe like a character flaw. No, that is a program running. That is your scarcity program that is running. The good news is that programs can be rewritten. And this is what what identity work actually is at its course, right? The course of your life it's what's sitting at its core. It's not about repeating affirmations until you believe them. It's about consciously, deliberately, over and over installing a new program in place of that old scarcity one. So becoming the rich girl version of you isn't about becoming someone else. It's just about removing the layers of programming that convinced you that you were someone who struggles, because that's what you witnessed, that's what you heard, and just returning to the vision, the version of you that knows, that, okay, no, like it actually can be different. Wealth can flow to me. So I want you to understand that that woman exists inside you. She always has, she always will. The program that you were programmed with just buried her. Okay. Second piece. This one is so important. I can't stress enough. If you have a scarcity money story, your nervous system has almost certainly been trained to treat money or the lack of it as a threat. Okay. So when your nervous system perceives a threat, it activates. It goes into fight, flight, or freeze mode. When that happens, your cortisol spikes, your thinking kind of goes down the drain, it narrows, and your brain does one thing, goes into survival mode, right? And then that's when the loop starts. You feel financially stressed. Your nervous system then activates. Your survival mode then kicks in. Then you start making decisions from fear rather than, clarity. Those decisions that you made from fear create more financial stress. And then guess what? Your nervous system activates again and it goes around and around. In survival mode, you might overspend, right? As a way to soothe the stress. You may go on to you may do retail therapy. You might freeze, avoid looking at your finances or your banking altogether. You might, if you're a business owner, you might undercharge because asking for more feels too risky, right? You feel like you might not get that money. You might, just dismiss any opportunity that comes your way because your brain is too contracted to see it clearly. None of those are conscious choices, okay? They are nervous system responses. So these are they're just your body trying to manage an experience that it has been taught to treat as dangerous. So the very state your nervous system goes into when it's stressed about money goes into survival mode, contraction, scarcity. And guess what? Those are the exact states that keep your money away because you cannot receive in a contracted state. You can't receive anything, money, nothing. You can't see opportunity if you're sitting in survival mode. You can't make clear, good, abundant decisions if you're in a place of fear. So the scarcity feeling literally creates more scarcity, and then that's the loop. So how do you break it? You regulate it first, always, 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 always regulate it first. So when the money stress spikes, before you make any decision, before you spiral, before you do anything, I want you to bring your nervous system back to safety. Breathe, move your body, go for a walk, right? Get regulated. And then from that regulated place, then you look at your money, then you make your decisions, then you take your next action. So we're not bypassing reality here. That's not what we're doing. If your account is low, it's fucking low. It's great. But we're not pretending otherwise. There is a version of you that looks at a low number from a place of calm and clarity. And instead of going into that fight or flight, you just say, I want you to ask yourself, okay, what is my next move? Right? What do I do next? There's a version of you that looks at that same number from panic and makes a decision from fear. So which identity do you want to be in when you're looking at your bank account if it's low? Do you want to just look at it from a place of calm and clarity and being like, okay, what's my next move? What do I do next? Or do you want to look at it from a place of panic and make a decision from fear, right? Because one of those versions creates a very different outcome every single time. One of the most powerful practices that I can give you, that I give all my students, and I've talked about this before, it's so fucking easy. Every morning, I want you to open up your bank app. I want you to look at your balance and I want you to sit with it, but I want you to sit with it without reacting. If it's low, don't panic. Don't put any shame on it, right? Not this whole, don't go into a spiral of what this means for you and your life and your future. I just want you to just look at it and be like, okay, I see you. That's what's there. More is coming. I want you to write 3 things every single day when you open your app. So if you have my Rich Girl Gratitude Journal, if you have my Rich Girl Gratitude Journal, you can write this in the spot, the Rich Girl Reframe. So the Rich Girl Reframe is just if you have anything that that you're pissed off about, you want to just reframe it into a positive. So if you don't have anything that, if you're good, you're good. I want you to write that in that spot. If you don't have my journal, then just literally piece of paper, go to Dollarama, go to dollar store, buy a plain notebook, and I want you to put it wherever you are, whatever's easy. Put it in a place where you can be like, okay, I'm going to look at my bank app today and I'm going to write 3 things that I'm grateful for specifically to your money. So I want you to look at your account. Why are you grateful that you have $500 in there when you're like, man, I need a lot more money than that? You got $100. I don't care. You got 5,000, but you usually have thousands of dollars in there. I want you to write 3 things why you're grateful for that money in that account. I want you to do that every single day, every single day. I don't care if you do it in the morning, you do it at night, but I want you to do it without fail. What that practice does over days, over weeks, over months, is it trains your nervous system that money is safe. Looking at money is safe, that money, that having money is safe, and not having enough is a problem to solve, not a threat to survive. That's what I want you to train your nervous system on, right? I want you to build a nervous system that feels safe around money and that can receive more of it. So there's a few, okay. So because identity and nervous work are the foundation, okay? Those 2 are the foundation. Those are what we need to make sure are regulated and that are stable. But there's also, now I said habits. Habits was like kind of like the number 3. So there's really tangible habits and patterns that keep the not enough cycle alive, that keep you in that whole scarcity cycle. There's a couple of them. I call them wealth leaks. And usually somebody has at least one that I work with, usually more, but you're going to have probably at least one. So there's a bunch of them. I'll just give you a few of them. Wealth leak number 1. Raise your hand if you're like, this is me. Spending money the moment it arrives. So this is the most common one because money comes in. So either money comes in from a payment or a launch or a good month, and within days, hours, whatever, it's gone. You make a new purchase, you make a new investment, you catch up on bills right away, you treat yourself because you finally have money and you're like, you know what, fuck it. Like I have a little bit of money. Now I'm going to go out and buy something for myself, retail therapy, whatever it is. And then the bank account is back to where it was, and the not enough feeling returns. This pattern is almost always nervous system driven. When the money arrives, the nervous system, if it hasn't been trained to feel safe holding money, it creates this unconscious urge to discharge it, right? To spend it before it can be taken away. So we need to regulate their nervous system so that having money feels safe and create a structure, right? So that would be looking at your bank app every single day, writing 3 things that you're grateful for, why you have that money in your account. Okay. I don't know. What is it going to do? How does it make you feel? All of that you have money. I always want you to remember there is always someone else that has less than you. Always. Always. So I want you to remember that as well. Number 2, there's another number 2 wealth leak is if you're a business owner, undercharging, right? So if you're a business owner, you sell anything undercharging, giving discounts. Your prices are a direct reflection of your money identity. So if you're someone who believes that you never have enough, then you will always chronically undercharge. You will undercharge, you will offer a discount, you will lower your price before that person even asks, right? And you justify it as being like, is somebody just is generous, right? Like, I don't want to be too greedy, right? And I want to make this accessible to everybody. But undercharging is not generosity. It's actually what do I say? It's always like I say that it's dressed in it's dressed in a costume. So fear is like you're wearing a costume of generosity. The rich girl version of you charges what you're fucking worth, right? Not what you think people will pay, not what's comfortable asking for, but what your work is worth. And you need to, that rich girl version of you holds the price with confidence because you know the value of what you deliver or what you're selling or what you have to offer. Okay. Number 3, I'll just do 3. Wealth leak number 3, and this one is huge and it shows up in so many ways. Avoiding your numbers, not looking at your bank app, not looking at your finances, not tracking your income, not knowing what's going out or coming in every single month. Both of those very important. Avoiding opening emails, answering the phone from your bank, from the credit card company, doing your taxes at the absolute last minute every year, not doing your taxes. Why do you do this? Because avoidance feels like protection. It's like, if I don't look at it, then it can't stress me out, right? But what avoidance actually does is it keeps you from having a real relationship with your money. And you can't grow something that you won't look at, right? The wealthy version of you, the rich girl version of you, is in a relationship with your money. You know your numbers, you look at them regularly, right? And you do it from a place of ownership, leadership, not because you're like, you don't look at those numbers from fear or judgment. This is my money. I'm paying attention to it. I'm directing it. That's where I want you to come from. Okay. So why do you never have enough money? Well, we know that it's not because you're bad with money, right? We know that, wealth isn't available to you, and it's not because you don't know what to do. You're doing something fundamentally wrong. It's because you've been running an old identity that says, not enough is your normal, because your nervous system was trained to treat money as a threat and has been keeping you in a scarcity loop, right? And it's not that somebody did that to you on purpose. That's just the way that it was, right? That's the way that it works. And so if you know this now and you have children, then you know what to do not to impose those conscious efforts, subconscious efforts, or thoughts or scarcity programming in your children. Okay? You've just been running an old identity, and your nervous system, again, was trained as a money threat, but that's what's keeping you in a scarcity loop. So, the good news is that it's all changeable. It's all changeable. The identity changeable, right? Do some daily practices of what I said, repetition, showing up every morning, choosing the rich girl version of you before that damn, sometimes nasty world gets to you. You know what I mean? Nervous system, regulatable, great, right? You can do that through building a new relationship with money that's rooted in safety, rooted in gratitude for what's in there, and certainly more that is coming, right? The habits, those are fixable. Those are fixable one at a time. You can start today. You are someone who has enough, who has more than enough, who has overflow, right? And that girl that you see over there, like you're like, oh, she always has enough. She always has more than enough. She always has overflow. Guess what? She's not a different person to you. She doesn't have something that you don't have. She just has a different identity. She has a different identity. So she has a wealth identity. She has a regulated nervous system. And her habits are aligned with wealth rather than what's working against her. And you can become her too. And I know that sounds fucking corny. You can become her too, but it's literally, I want you to listen, it's literally neurologically possible, completely available to you. All of everything is completely available to you. So, with all of that, if this episode hit for you and you heard yourself in any of what I described today, then I just want you to know that there's tools out there. There's tools out there that I can help you with. There's tools out there that can literally help you become her and get you out of that scarcity program. I talk about it all the time. Become Her Wealth is one of my signature programs. It's literally built for exactly like this. It's where you do the identity work, the nervous system work, and the daily manifestation practice, right? The practical rich girl wealth habits. All of it is inside a self-paced program. It's going to get to the root of your money story, and it's going to help you rewrite it. It's going to help you build the version of you that literally money flows to and that stays and feels good in. And so if you want to stop asking, why is there never enough money? Then Become Her Wealth is your next step. So also inside, Jenny Potter, if you don't know Jenny Potter, she has this incredible gift of releasing your money blocks, any type of unprocessed emotion or blocks that you're holding on to. She helps you release those in real time. So in every single module of the program, she teaches you how to actually release those yourself. And so, yeah, I'll leave the link below. I'm sure you heard me talk about it before, but I'll leave the link below so you can check it out and you can get instant access right away. If you're not quite there yet, if you would share this episode with somebody you think who needs to hear it, if you could leave a review on wherever you're listening from, Apple, Spotify, wherever. YouTube, I would so appreciate that. It's just going to help more women find the show when they're kind of typing in that exact question into Google. Why do I never have enough money? So I would love for them to find this answer and be able to do the work. So thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you for your support. And I will see you next week. Ciao.